Hello, my name is Kang.
Today, our group would like to make a presentation, and the topic of our presentation is improving expat distribution patterns in Hong Kong, the example of Hong Kong's districts. Our presentation will be divided into four parts. The first part is the introduction of the background. Then is the data and theory, data analysis. Finally, is the conclusion. Now, let me come to the part one. Firstly, I would like to make a brief introduction about the e-commerce industry and expat industry in Hong Kong, and then I will point out the disadvantage of traditional way. Finally, I will give the purpose of our research. In the past, due to Hong Kong's dense population and numerous retailers, the convenience of online shopping was not outstanding. Despite the good e-commerce infrastructure, the development of Hong Kong's B2C online retail business is still relatively slow. According to the 2020 e-commerce payments trend report released by the JP Morgan Chase, among the population of over 7.5 million in Hong Kong, 4 out of every 10 people have never used B2C e-commerce service. In the past 2 years, with the recurrence of the epidemic, more and more Hong Kong residents has begun to use Hong Kong TV Mall, neighborhood bike, and other platforms for online shopping. And many residents have even shopped on the mainland e-commerce platform and received the good in Hong Kong. The slow development of Hong Kong's B2C e-commerce industries has also led to the slow development of Hong Kong's expat delivery industry. Next page. Although the residents in Hong Kong have the freedom to choose which carrier points to receive the carrier, they generally choose the carrier points close to their residence because the relationship between the size of the express store and the size of the residential area have not been considered. This brings the following disadvantage. The time and money cost for residents to receive express delivery are very high, and they are also high for the worker when they are working. The purpose of our research is to better improve the efficiency of the carrier companies between the selected capabilities and the carrier points and reduce the cost of the process. Let's welcome my partner for further introduction.
Hi everyone, I am Liu Yinuo.
And part two is divided into two different parts, data and theory. I'm going to talk about the express industry data in Hong Kong area. Okay, let's get started. Firstly, I want to analyze why do we choose Hong Kong express delivery industry. The express industry connects thousands of business and is an indispensable resource hub in the city circle. In 2021, Hong Kong's GDP exceeded 2 trillion yuan, ranking third in the Guangdong-Hong Kong-Macau Great Bay Area after Shenzhen and Guangdong. The express delivery business in Hong Kong kept pace with economic development. According to the monitoring data of China Express Big Data Platform, in recent years, the business volume of the major mainland express delivery enterprises in Hong Kong basically shows an increasing trend year by year. In 2020, the revenue volume of the major mainland express delivery enterprises in Hong Kong increased by more than 100% compared with that in 2019. And the delivery volume increased by more than 40% compared with that in 2019. Next page, thanks. And then let's talk about the express industry situation in Hong Kong. From the transportation aspect, Hong Kong is located in the central hinterland of the Hong Kong, at the junction of Kowloon and Hong Kong Island, as well as the mouth of an underwater tunnel. It is the starting station of the East Rail Line to Shenzhen and Hong Kong business terminals. It is one of the transportation hubs of Hong Kong, so a large flow of people exists every day in this area. In terms of housing, there are many large housing constructions such as Hai Yun Xuan, Harbor Place, Huangpu Garden, and so on. There's no doubt that in this kind of buildings, many points of delivery will exist to meet people's demand for express delivery. Thus, because of the large proportion of people, the number of express points This report has chosen Hong Kong area as the research object. Next page, thanks. In addition, according to the research of Hong Kong area, we summarized some basic statistics in the express industry here. Hong Kong area is firstly divided into 4 main residential area, including 4 following part and getting corresponding residential capacity respectively. The reason for dividing the 4 parts is that they all have the same rent, which ensures that the residents have similar purchasing power. The only difference is the location in this area. The residential capacity is calculated based on the total number of houses in a certain area. So the proportion is this much. At this time, we divided the 4 main points of delivery. They are and get the express capacity of them. The express capacity is compared according to the number of express delivery points. The number of express delivery cabinets is limited and only 1 can be put. So the proportion is small. The express delivery cabinets of express delivery points can be put more. And the specific data is calculated based on the base number, which is 400 in Hong Kong area. Next page, thanks. The specific data is shown as following, including residential capacity of 4 parts and express capacity of 4 parts. Next page, thanks. And also about the transportation costs. Okay, that's all about the part 2 theory. Let's welcome Qianyi.
Hello everyone, my name is Liu Qianyi. Okay, in the following, after the analyzing above, we can understand the basic situation and characteristic of the distribution of express delivery in the Hong Kong area. So we choose the table on the operating method here to find a more efficient and lower cost distribution express route, which could improve the efficiency of courier companies and reduce the cost of courier and resident. Next page, thanks. And in this page, I'm going to briefly introduce the theory. And the table on the operating method is a method to calculate the transportation model in near-link programming problem by using the list method. And here, according to characteristic of the above selected area, we choose the minimum element method and the closed loop adjusted method in the table on the operating method to find the optimal solution. And for the minimum element method can be used to find out the initial basic feasible solution. And for the closed loop adjustment method is used to adjust the obtained solution and adjust the transportation plan so that it eventually becomes the optimal solution. Next page, thanks. And for the minimum element method, there are 3 basic steps. And the first step is list the tariff table, then supply and demand balance sheet. And after that, combine the initial dispatch plan. And finally, inspection and adjustment of the initial plan. Next page, then. And after that, we could use the closed loop adjustment method to find the optimal solution. And that's all about my part, and I will pass it to next one.
I am Wei Weihao. Now it's my turn to talk about the data analysis based on the selected data and theory mentioned above. Based on the data stream above, we can integrate the capacity of the express point with the purchase volume of residents into one table in order to show the equilibrium of both supply and demand. Moreover, the number in the middle represents the transportation cost between the 2 places. After the introduction of the theory of minimum element method, we can systematically come up with an initial solution showing how to allocate the delivery. And this table shows the first adjusted solution in this case. However, due to the limitation of the minimum element method, it just simply provides a systematic approach to figure out one possible way, which doesn't necessarily guarantee that it is the overall optimal solution. Therefore, We also need to use the closed loop method to test whether all the testing number in this solution has a non-negative value. After testing, we found that there are indeed negative test numbers, which also shows that the method obtained not only by the minimum element method is not the final optimal solution. In other words, current solutions do not effectively help us minimize the transportation costs. In order to get the best solution, we need to adjust the allocation with negative test numbers by the closed loop method to ensure that all test data are non-negative. The adjusted values are shown in this table. We can see that the testing numbers in this table no longer have negative values, and at the same time, the new distribution satisfies the capacity balance of express point supply and residential purchasing demand. So adjusting according to these two methods, this is exactly the optimal allocation method that can minimize the total express transportation cost and has an overall transportation cost of 1,620. We all know that most situations we are facing nowadays recommend the nearest express point based on the residential address. But this method does not fully consider the relationship between the capacity of the express point and the demand of the residents, nor does it take a good account of how to reduce the overall transportation costs. To better prove that the solution after the above method is more cost-effective than the current method we are using, we calculate the transportation cost will be 2,140 under the same conditions, which also indicates that the solution we propose will exactly help the whole Hong Kong area to lower the overall transportation cost to a large extent. We also believe that the research findings can be applied to other parts of Hong Kong to further improve the rational resource allocation of the express delivery industry in Hong Kong. And let's welcome a partner for further conclusion on the project.
Hi everyone, I am Liu Yinuo.
Okay, let's talk about the conclusions. Firstly, taking Hong Kong as an example, this project selects 4 express points and 4 residential areas as the research objectives. And the result proved that the optimal distribution method is different from the current way. Most express distribution methods now minimize the distance for residents to reach the courier point, but this does not take the capacity of the courier point into account, which leads to a waste of total transportation costs. After the data analyzed, our suggestion based on these several courier points can solve this problem. To some extent, help courier companies and buyers better allocate resources and save time. In this way, it may be add 1 minute or 2 to the transportation time for buyers in some residential areas, but it does play a positive role in the whole district and can save a corresponding part of the transportation cost. Next page, thanks. Although this study only considered 4 residential areas and courier points, it has shown to a certain extent that there is indeed room for improvement in this current courier distribution situation. Similarly, such a solution can also be applied to another areas of Hong Kong, helping them make better use of transportation, use resources, and public space. On the other hand, using this method can easily help us plan the construction of new courier points, which can help us benefit the surrounding areas and around the courier points with the minimum construction space. Neither will there be excessive couriers inside the express point, nor will there be a waste of space due to empty couriers around the area. Next page, thanks. With the improvement of living standards of people, the proportion of online shopping in people's lives will become larger and larger. So the development of online shopping and the courier delivery industry will become more significant in the economy in the city. So if the previous distribution method is used, it may take up a lot of public resources for construction of courier delivery planes, which will increase people's burden on transportation and the cost of courier delivery for Hong Kong. We believe that if such a transportation distribution method can be popularized on a large circle, we can actually bring more convenience to Hong Kong. And it's also an important factor in helping related industry to flourish in Hong Kong. Okay, that's all about our presentation. Thanks for listening.